Good morning. It is Monday, February 18th. It's snowing again. I know it's still February, so it's still technically winter. I get that. But just want some warmer weather, right? I want to go out on the longboard. I want to be able to go outside and not have to wear, 3 layers of clothing and coats and things like that. Like, I'm already kind of dressing the part for spring, hoping that Mother Nature will be like, you know what, it's time. But we got a lot to get into today, so let's go ahead and roll the intro. I'm hoping you guys are having a fantastic day. Let's start the week off right. Let's get a vlog in every day this week, and let's get it started. All right. So like I said, we got a lot to get into today. We've got a couple things to discuss. Kind of just some odds and ends that have been going on in the videography business here. Just trying to iron out a few things. But talked to quite a few brides in the past few days. Just actually got off the phone with one earlier this morning. Everything seemed really good, really excited. She seemed on board. She's also looking for photography, so I of course gave her Amanda's information. Kind of told her a little bit about her background and asked if I could pass her contact info over to Amanda so she could reach out. She said absolutely, so that's what Amanda's going to be working on today, is kind of getting that prepared and trying to juggle the kids and all that stuff. So yep, so that's that. We've got another phone call with a potential bride today at 3 o'clock. So I'll be taking my lunch a little bit, it's probably about on time because I'm working from 12 to 9 tonight, so probably it's probably a little early, so probably go to lunch probably about 2:45-ish to kind of get prepared and all that. And hopefully win some of this business to try and advance my schedule for 28-19. So the bride I talked to today was 2019, and the bride I'm talking to at noon, and the bride I'm talking to at 3 is 2019. So this would be 2, and they're both in September. So this would be huge for us. Financially, this would be huge for us as far as the business goes. Just trying to win as much as possible and offer as much as possible. This bride, one of the things that keeps coming up is, how long are your videos and how many videos do I get and things like that. And I understand, like, when you're a full-time videographer and you need to try to cut your edit time down, so your pay structure is based on how much time goes into the job. So you've got so much money for the actual day itself, and you've got so much money allocated for editing this video, and so much money allocated for editing this video, and you kind of customize a package for a customer. I'm thinking that's, the more and more I talk to brides, that's kind of the way I'm leaning. Like, once I go full time, that's kind of the pricing model that I would like to follow, rather than having, one flat rate and you get all of these things, quoting someone, for, a 10-hour day, or quoting someone for a full day of recording, quote that time, because that time won't change, right? So that'll be one price. And then you also get to pick from any 2 of these videos for this price, or this price, right? So if they just want a 1-minute teaser, it's this price. And if you just want, the ceremony video, it's this price. Or if you want a highlight reel of both of them combined, it's this price. So that's kind of the way I'm looking. It's kind of the way I'm leaning as far as my business is concerned. But for now, just offering, everything, including the kitchen sink, to build the portfolio, get try to get as much work as possible. Obviously, when you're first starting out, you can't charge what you would charge going full time because you don't have the experience yet. So gaining that, not only are you looking to, they're paying you with their, financially, but they're also paying you with the experience, right? So they're, I'm allowing you to tape, to film my wedding, so therefore I'm giving you experience, portfolio work, so when it comes down to it, you're not just getting, financial security, but you're also getting future jobs as well, because you're going to be using that work to win over more potential clients later on down the line. So the other thing that kind of came up today is we got a call back from the bride and that we met last week at Panera. She decided that she's not going to hire me as a videographer. She's got a friend that's going to tape the wedding, but she's still thinking about hiring Amanda. That's perfectly fine. I'm okay. I am okay with that. I would have liked to had an opportunity to kind of rebut that objection, and this one seems to be a common occurrence, right? Where whether it's Amanda with her photography or myself with videography, just having the reply of, oh, well, you know what? Turns out my great uncle's nephew's sister-in-law's cousin brother is going to go ahead and shoot our wedding or tape our wedding. And to me, it's like, the response is, I'm glad that they're able to offer you that type of service, or they're able to gift you that type of thing. One of the things that I talk to so many brides about, or hear so many horror stories, is the least of your worries, right? The biggest thing is that person going to be able to enjoy the wedding and the ceremony, the reception, and meeting with family? Are they going to be able to enjoy that while still capturing your day? And they might be able to. They very much can. But is that something that you would like to? Is that something that you're okay with putting on top of somebody, putting that on their shoulders? And to me, it's like, if it's a monetary thing, right? If it's a financial thing where you can't afford my services, let's talk about that. Let's develop like a payment plan or something like that. Or I require the full amount to be paid up front, 1 month prior to the date. I could always change that. We could make an agreement where we can say, okay, well, how about this? What if 50% is due prior to the 1 month prior, and then the final amount will be due when the final product is delivered, right? Kind of spacing that price out. Now, of course, that's only if it's a monetary issue, right? I mean, she just might want, her friends, cousins, uncles, nephews, sister-in-law's cousin to film the wedding, and that's fine. But I just want to make, you just want to portray that you want to make sure that this is a professional that's capturing the wedding. Obviously, having someone related to you doing it, there's a couple things that could come up, right? And you just want to make sure that you're making the right decision right now. And you want to do that with as much ease as possible, because you don't want to insult anybody, right? You don't want to insult the bride and groom for choosing not to go with you and choosing to go with a family member, but you just want to point out, the experiences that you've heard about when couples hire family instead of a professional, someone that's removed from the situation. So, we've got a lot to get into. We're going to run into Meyer real quick. We got to pick up a couple things before we get into work. All right, so we've got a few things from Meyer that we need for work, well, not really for work, I've decided that I've taken working out of my schedule for far too long. So I'm gonna get back into that routine and really kind of focus on trying to build muscle and just kind of, get into a little bit better shape. So with that, we've got a gym quote unquote, we've got a gym at work. So it's got a couple different pieces of equipment in there that you can use. Nothing quite extensive as like a normal gym that you'd go to. But they've got free weights, they've got a machine for your legs and things like that, and like a pull down bar and stuff like that. So there's definitely exercises that you could do there. So I'm going to work on that a little bit. I did donate my bench along with my bar, and I could only find 50 pounds of weight. I don't know where all my weight went. We've moved so many times that I don't know if it was left somewhere, or the other place that it could be in the garage, up in the attic in the garage. I didn't check there. It very well could be up there. But anyway, so I had limited weight that I could donate, so that's already set up and ready to go. So we're gonna try and get back into that routine here on our lunch breaks. Obviously today I've got a phone call, like I talked about. I got a phone call today on my lunch break, so I'll probably be working out shortly after work. Getting back to the topic on hand and trying to overcome these objections that brides and grooms give you to try and win over business. Sometimes it's not possible. Sometimes they've made the decision, and that's the decision that they've come to, for whatever reason it is. That's what they've decided to do, and you have to respect that. Now, does it suck on our end? Because it's like, man, I really wanted that job. I was really looking forward to it. Like, this is gonna, you can't let that beat you down. You can't let that affect how you're going to approach, your next potential client, or you can't let that affect you reaching out to more clients. It's just one of those things where there's gonna be rejection in this business because you're not the only one providing the service. So there's going to be rejection, and you have to be okay with rejection. I did a whole vlog about dealing with rejection, so I won't go too far into it. But that's just one of those things where it's just part of the business. Now, reaching out to those clients and finding out why they decided to go an alternate route, that's always a good thing to do. And one of the things that you want to make sure that you convey to them when you do reach out is, I want to make my business better. The only way I'm going to be able to do that is constructive feedback, right? Because if you just say, hey, there's two different options for this. Like, you could reach out like, hey, I'm glad you just made a decision. I'm sorry you didn't go with me. I would like to ask, if you're okay with answering, or if you're okay with me asking, why did you choose to go a different route, right? If you just ask it like that, the majority of your answers are going to come back, and because everyone's generally pretty nice, especially if you've, been nice to them and, forthcoming and all that stuff. If it's not a monetary thing, they're going to come back and say, oh, well, your videos are really great. I really enjoyed your films. We just decided to go this way. It's nothing against you at all. Blah, 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 And the thing is, there's really not a lot to be learned from that. So the other option you could do is you say, I really appreciate you taking the time to talk with me and actually consider my work. I'm sorry you didn't go with me. I would like your feedback so that I can better, be better prepared or better suited for my next potential client. I would really enjoy some constructive criticism about your experience with me so far. And if you word it like that, you're kind of opening the door for the real reason why they said no. Was it your pricing? Was it the fact that you only have 1 year experience, or you only have 8 weddings on your belt, and they're really looking for that person that has the experience, filming weddings? And if that's the case, then maybe you do need to lower your prices and go after that smaller budget, or more budget friendly bride and groom, to get more opportunity to film, to build your portfolio. And that way you can say, like, oh, well, I filmed 15 weddings last year, and I did 8 the year before that. And now you've got that experience. So in 2020, or the following year, if you're watching this in the future, in the following year, you've got that extra experience. That's constructive criticism that you're looking for. So dealing with rejection is very important, but also asking for that constructive criticism, trying to break down that barrier to make them feel comfortable critiquing you, right? And you have to go as far, you're not going to hurt my feelings. This is strictly professional. All I'm trying to do is better myself to win more business. And the only way you're going to do that is by getting feedback from your clients or your potential clients that turned you down. And you're going to have to develop a thick skin, because you've already been rejected once, and now the client's going to tell you all about why they rejected you, right? So you're going to have to develop a thick skin. You can't take it personally. You can't lash out at them, things like that. You can't, they've already, respect their decision. Now, obviously, if they say something like, oh, well, I was really looking for someone with more experience, like, you don't want the thing not to do is say, well, I'm offering it, half their cost. No, cost wasn't a thing. It was the experience. Let it go, right? Take what he or she said, and and internalize it, process it, and change something. Now, if she says something like, oh, well, the videographer we went with, they offer a few different videos that you don't offer, then you can say, oh, well, we can definitely work that into your path. I mean, if you're looking for more of this type of film versus, if you're looking for, these 3, 2-minute films versus this big long one, yeah, absolutely. That's definitely something I can do, right? Still feel free to handle that objection. You still want to be, walk on cautiously when you're going into this. What's the saying? Walking on eggshells. You want to be very careful, because you don't want to offend the bride based on her decision, but you still have that opportunity to say, oh, if that's the only thing holding you back, then that's something that I can definitely do. I'm still, the phrase that I use, I'm still learning my business and trying to figure out exactly what brides want, what's popular, what type of films to put together. And so far, these are the ones that I've fallen on that have been the most popular, and these are the type of films that I create. Now, if you're looking for a different style of film, like, I want something shot slightly moodier, like, that's something that you might not be able to offer that, because you haven't shot that style of film yet. So if it's something to do with the length, or something where you feel like you can accommodate them, by all means, definitely try to still win that work over, or still offer that type of service, for sure. All right, guys. So we're getting ready for our meeting. It's about 2:55. We've got everything set up. We've got our business plan with our discovery questions, the different products we offer, so to make sure our branding is consistent across all of our potential clients and things like that. It just helps avoid any issues from what we call each video and things like that, and the lengths and what's included and stuff like that. So just to make sure you're consistent. I've also got one of my client profile sheets that I'll be filling out with the bride's name, basically all the information that I currently have, which isn't much. I've got the date, her phone number, how much I quoted her over Facebook, and then the fact that she's in Cleveland. So not a lot to go on. So we'll kind of do something a little bit different this time. Usually I kind of open up with my services and what I offer and things like that. But since I really don't know a lot about this bride, I'm going to probably start with asking her questions about how did she meet her fiance, and kind of build up a relationship from there. And we'll see how it goes. So let's get ready for the phone call, and we'll go from there. All right, guys, so we just finished up our day, 9 to 5 in the gym. Gonna get the workout going. It's about 9:45, 9:30, somewhere in there. So we're gonna work out for about a half hour, 45 minutes, hit the shower. We gotta run one more stop to pick up some stuff for tomorrow, and then get home and edit. So let's get it. Alright guys, we're going to go ahead and end the vlog here. We had a extremely productive day. It's about 12:08 in the morning. We got quite a bit of work done at our 9 to 5. Talked to our bride during lunch. Got a workout in after work, and then swung by and picked up a couple things for work tomorrow at the store. So overall, pretty busy day. Tomorrow we go back at it again, only we flip-flop. We're going to be working from 9 to 5, and then coming home and working on some wedding videos, trying to get those accomplished and get those out the door, and go from there. So, alright guys, well, I appreciate you watching. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button, consider subscribing if you haven't seen any of my videos before. If this is your first time here, really do appreciate it. Have a great night, guys, and we will see you tomorrow.